Kon Kaen province is located in northeastern Thailand. Along with other cities in the country such as Chiang Mai, Songkhla, Nakhon Ratchasima, and Udon Thani, Kon Kaen is one of the key cities in Thailand's socio-economic development program. Khao Suan Quang district, situated in the northwest of Kon Kaen province, is rich in natural resources. Its economy is primarily based on agriculture, making it a significant agricultural production area in northeastern Thailand. In 2017, a newlywed couple resided in Khao Suan Quang district. The wife, Warisara Klinjui, was 23 years old, young, beautiful and friendly. Her husband, Sakchai Bafthongdi, aged 38, was a talented and wealthy construction contractor. After their marriage, they enjoyed a very happy time together. Although Sakchai often had to travel for work, he always spent a lot of time with his wife whenever he returned home. Their relationship was sweet, and they were regarded as an admirable model couple. However, in the spring of 2017, an unexpected tragedy struck their family. Let's go back to May 25, 2017, to understand the details of the event. That day was a Thursday. In the morning, a farmer was diligently picking mushrooms in a forest in Khao Suan Quang district. He ran an eco-tourism farm and wanted to prepare a special dish for his guests. Mushrooms typically grow in low bushes and damp, dry grass. At that time, he was intently searching for mushrooms in the forest. While searching, he suddenly saw 3 large metal sheets on a pile of dry grass in the distance. Based on his previous experience, he knew that the environment under the metal sheets was damp, ideal for mushroom growth. So, he decided to go over and check. As he approached, a strong foul smell permeated the air. He tried to hold his breath and slowly lifted the metal sheet with his hand. Beneath it was a shallow hole containing 2 plastic barrels. The intense stench continued to emanate from the barrels. Out of curiosity, he took out a black plastic bag from one of the barrels to see what was inside. When he opened the bag, he was shocked to find dismembered human body parts. Terrified, he ran away and quickly called the police. Upon receiving the report, the police immediately arrived at the scene and cordoned off the entire area. They examined the site and retrieved 2 severed torsos from the plastic barrels. Forensic examination later confirmed that the body parts belonged to a woman. The victim had been cut in half at the waist, her arms were severed, and her internal organs were missing. There were signs of struggle on her body, no evidence of sexual assault, and deep strangulation marks on her neck. The cause of death was determined to be strangulation, with the time of death estimated between May 23 and May 24, 2017. Although the body had begun to decompose significantly, it was still recognizable that the victim was a beautiful woman with a slender figure. The police took the victim's fingerprints and used the distinctive butterfly tattoo on her body to investigate recent missing persons. That evening, the police finally identified the woman from the missing persons list. Her name was Warisara Klinjui, a 23-year-old bar hostess. Her mother had reported her missing the day before. Warisara had married just 3 months before the incident. Her marriage was reportedly very peaceful and happy. She was well liked and had no known enemies. However, upon deeper investigation, the police discovered some surprising details. Warisara's job as a bar hostess involved engaging customers to encourage them to spend money. But her work was also tied to prostitution. She had physical contact with customers and even engaged in intimate transactions. She had a private clientele and was involved with multiple men and women. Even after getting married, she did not remain faithful and continued a close relationship with another woman known as Ms. B. The police then identified 2 main suspects. The first suspect was Warisara's husband, Sakchai. The police speculated that he might have discovered her infidelity and killed her out of anger. The second suspect was Ms. B, Warisara's lover. They thought that Ms. B might have been unhappy with Warisara's marriage and decided to act. The police quickly started investigating both individuals. Meanwhile, the media sensationalized the case, labeling it a lesbian love triangle and extensively covering it, which drew widespread attention in Thailand. Ms. B was the first to be questioned by the police. She stated, "I couldn't reach Warisara since the night of May 27, 2017. On May 24, 2017, I called Warisara's mother to ask about her, but her mother said that Sakchai had been on a business trip since May 20, 2017, and Warisara didn't go with him. After learning this, I suspected that Warisara was missing, and asked her mother to report it to the police." During the interrogation, Ms. B was very cooperative, and provided a solid alibi. Thus she was ruled out as a suspect. She believed that Sakchai was the main suspect, suggesting that he had discovered his wife's affair and faked a business trip to mislead everyone. After killing her, he then went to the actual work site to establish an alibi. Upon hearing about his wife's murder, Sakchai immediately returned home. He told the police, "I left for a business trip on May 20, 2017, and only returned upon hearing about my wife's death. I only learned about her infidelity from the news. I was shocked to discover her betrayal, and had no prior knowledge of it." The police quickly obtained surveillance footage from Sakchai's workplace. The footage showed that from May 20, 2017, to May 25, 2017, when the body was discovered, he was at the construction site overseeing the work. His colleagues confirmed this. After thorough investigation, the police found Sakchai's alibi credible, and eventually ruled him out as a suspect. At this point, the media's speculation about a love triangle murder was completely off, and the case hit a dead end. The police continued to search for other leads. After some time, they made a new discovery. The last time Warisara was seen was on the afternoon of May 23, 2017, while working at the bar. According to surveillance cameras at a nearby convenience store and ATM, that evening, Warisara used the ATM, and then got into a car with a man before leaving. Fortunately, the surveillance cameras captured the man's face, and the car's license plate. Through facial recognition, the man was identified as Wasin Nampom, a 22-year-old married man who also worked at the bar with Warisara. The car's license plate was traced to a rental car, and they were headed toward the border. Wasin became a primary suspect in the case, and a nationwide arrest warrant was issued for him. On May 27, 2017, Wasin and his wife Jadarat Promkun, 21, were arrested. The police found Warisara's phone in Jadarat's bag, which they were preparing to sell. Wasin admitted his involvement in the crime, but claimed, "My wife is not involved. She was only responsible for disposing of the victim's personal belongings. The real culprits are 3 other women who also worked at the bar." The police took him to the crime scene to reenact the events, and combined with other evidence, the whole case was revealed. The main perpetrator of the crime was identified as Priyanuk Nonwang Chai, 25, a colleague of the victim and also a hostess at the bar. She was active on social media, flaunting luxury items, and portraying herself as a wealthy socialite. In reality, she came from an unhappy family in Kon Kaen province, and had dropped out of school early to work. After saving a significant amount of money, she underwent cosmetic surgery. With her new, more attractive appearance, she secretly engaged in prostitution, and streamed adult content online to earn extra income, which was a stark contrast to the image she projected on social media. Despite appearing close, Priyanuk and Warisara had a falling out a year earlier. Warisara owed Priyanuk 40,000 baht, around 1 to 200, but had not repaid the debt over the year for various reasons. They had numerous arguments over this. During this time, Priyanuk's boyfriend was arrested for drug trafficking. Priyanuk was upset and suspected that Warisara had reported her boyfriend to the police. To exact revenge, she enlisted her accomplices, Kawita Rachada, 25, and Apiwan Satyabundit, 28. They contacted Wasin, who also worked at the bar, and asked him to pretend to introduce a client to lure Warisara out, and then get her into the car. The plan went smoothly, and Warisara unsuspectingly got into the car. However, upon seeing the three women led by Priyanok inside, she immediately sensed something was wrong, and tried to escape, but was overpowered. They then threatened, taunted, and brutally beat Warisara. She struggled unsuccessfully and angrily shouted, "If I survive, I won't spare you. I will take all of your lives." Initially, Priyanok and her friends only intended to teach Warisara a lesson, but after hearing her sharp threats, they couldn't control their emotions. Meanwhile, Wasin, who was driving, egged them on, saying, "Better to kill by mistake than to let her go. We have to finish this." Priyanok fiercely strangled Warisara with a plastic bag, while the other two held her down until she stopped moving. Upon realizing Warisara was dead, they showed no remorse or fear, but instead planned how to dispose of the body. They bought a saw, plastic barrels, black garbage bags, and 3 large metal sheets. Wasin drove to a nearby ecotourism farm and temporarily rented a room there. They dismembered Warisara's body, wrapped it in garbage bags, and placed it in the plastic barrels. After completing this, they went to a remote forest, dug a shallow hole, and discarded the barrels, covering them with the metal sheets. After finishing these tasks, the 4 of them planned their escape. Wasin took his wife to Laos, and instructed her to find an opportunity to dispose of Warisara's phone and other belongings. Meanwhile, the 3 women drove for 11 hours, and fled to Myanmar. After Wasin's confession, the police sealed off the border area, restricting movement in and out, and issued a nationwide manhunt for the 3 women. Thai police also contacted Myanmar authorities for assistance in the investigation. In the following days, the case dominated the front pages of major media outlets. For a short time, Priyanok, the ringleader, became a nationwide sensation in Thailand, earning the nickname Sweet Killer. Despite the widespread warrants, the 3 women seemed unconcerned about escaping. Instead, they posted selfies and updates about their lives online. Their brazen behavior was seen as a taunt to the police, and Priyanok's confident, nonchalant demeanor in the photos garnered her a large online following. Over time, public opinion on the 3 female killers became highly polarized. Many young people began to idolize Priyanok, with her fashion choices becoming highly sought after and her style widely emulated. Everything about her suddenly became a strong fashion trend. However, many others believed the crime had caused serious societal harm, and that they should face severe punishment as a deterrent. In an interview, Priyanok's sister expressed hope that her sister would soon surrender to the police, stating, "No matter how serious the situation, there's no need to worry too much, because family is always here." A week after the incident, with coordinated efforts from Thai and Myanmar police, the whereabouts of the 3 women were discovered. They were in Tachi Lake, a border town in southeastern Myanmar. Surveillance cameras from a clothing store in the town clearly captured their images. They did not conceal their identities, appearing openly in public places and strolling around calmly. Upon receiving the tip, the police quickly moved to the area and prepared for a comprehensive search. Realizing they had no way to escape, the 3 women decided to surrender. Priyanok stated, "We arrived in Tachi Lake before the border was closed. Thanks to our standout looks, we found jobs at a local bar. However, as the police search expanded, we had to leave the bar and retreat to a small town to hide. After discussing it, we agreed that evading capture was not a long-term plan. It was better to surrender and hope for a reduced sentence." After revealing themselves, they went to the town police station to surrender. Their dramatic appearance drew significant attention, and they were swiftly extradited to Thailand. Notably, on their way to the Thai detention center, they were not handcuffed and were surrounded by police, chatting and smiling along the way. Unlike typical detainees, they showed no signs of remorse or fear, appearing to enjoy the attention. They became instant celebrities, with local police treating them warmly, even providing snacks and drinks. People even approached them for photos, making the scene resemble a fan meeting with their idol. During their detention, they were treated like stars. Not only were they allowed to use mobile phones, but they also freely applied face masks and chatted with the guards. Before attending the police press conference, they even smoked and did their makeup in the detention center. The internet was flooded with criticism about the police's special treatment of these prisoners. The victim, Warisara's mother, also voiced her discontent, saying, "I can't accept that those who killed my daughter are being so well taken care of." However, the police responded, "Before being convicted, they are still suspects. We are simply protecting the legal rights of citizens." To quell the growing public outrage, 2 police officers who had taken photos with Priyanok and posted them online were reassigned. At the press conference, they recounted the entire crime. Although the content was the same as Wasin's confession, hearing it directly from the perpetrators had a stronger impact. Keywords like bar hostess, body dismemberment, prostitution, infidelity, lesbian love triangle, sweet killer, and face masks became trending topics. The combination of these keywords in one case made it even more sensational. The handbag the trio carried when arrested became a hot fashion item, and the saw used to dismember the victim was designed into a keychain sold at various stores. However, over time, the hype around the case began to fade. Surprisingly, a Facebook post reignited public interest. In March 2018, 10 months after the crime, the trial opened at Kon Kaen Provincial Court. Priyanok, Kawita, Apiwan, and Wasin were charged with murder and other crimes. Jidarat, Wasin's wife, was charged with theft. At the time, the highest penalty under Thai criminal law was the death penalty. Warisara's mother brought her daughter's photo to the court to pray and hoped for severe punishment for the perpetrators. Court rules prohibited mobile phones inside, but someone posted on Facebook with a screenshot of a conversation. In the conversation, the person said, "I'm in court, and thank you all for not abandoning me despite knowing I'm a suspect." The photo even showed Priyanok and the other 2 suspects making heart shapes and taking selfies in the courtroom. Their indifference and lack of fear contrasted sharply with the victim's family's anger and grief outside the court. Their blatant disregard for the court caused another wave of public outrage. Many people were furious and criticized their arrogance and lack of remorse. There was also concern about the Thai judicial system. Interestingly, their shameful behavior in court caused Priyanok's fanbase to go wild. Fans saw it as a symbol of rebellion, with some even claiming the 3 women were innocent. In court, the prosecutor declared that the defendants had intentionally murdered the victim, disrespected the judicial system, and deserved harsh punishment. The defense attorney argued that they initially did not intend to kill the victim, only to teach her a lesson, but lost control in anger after the victim threatened them. The attorney also emphasized that they had confessed, showing remorse, and should receive a reduced sentence. In court, Priyanok stated, "We initially did not intend to kill the victim. I have felt guilty about my actions and cannot sleep well at night. I am willing to accept any sentence to lessen my guilt." The judge acknowledged that the 3 perpetrators committed a grave crime by killing the victim and should have been sentenced to life imprisonment. However, considering their confession and cooperation with the police investigation, Their sentences were reduced accordingly. The court sentenced Priyanok and Kawita to 34 years and 6 months in prison, Apiwan to 33 years and 9 months, Wasin to 23 years, 4 months and 20 days, and Jidarat to 1 year in prison. Additionally, the 4 killers were ordered to compensate Warisara's family 1 million baht and 100,000 baht for funeral expenses, totaling 1.1 million baht, approximately $300,000. The case finally closed, but its impact on society lingered. Many of Priyanok's fervent fans expressed their discontent with the sentences, calling them unfair and demanding a reduction. Some people were deeply concerned about this social phenomenon. Psychologists began analyzing why Priyanok garnered such a following. They attributed it to her attractive appearance, her dramatic criminal involvement, and her lavish lifestyle, which had been widely disseminated and became the focus of public attention. When faced with unbelievable facts, people instinctively want to delve deeper and learn more about the stories behind those involved. Sensationalized news and viral headlines on social media catered to this curiosity. In an interview, Priyanok's sister tearfully stated, "From the moment the case broke, the media portrayed my sister as an evil, wicked woman deserving of her fate. Even our friends and relatives were attacked and criticized terribly. Only after the trial did it prove my sister did not intentionally commit murder. I hope the public does not jump to conclusions based on one side, and gives Priyanok a chance to atone." However, while the criminals have a chance to rebuild their lives, the life of the brutally murdered young woman ended forever at 23. This concludes today's case story. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching.